Hi, I'm Brenda Murray, and this is Studio 56. Studio 56 is your hub for all things urban sketching related. Video interviews, such as what I'm going to be doing today, blog articles, merchandise, books, and art supplies. Today, I'm going to be chatting with Uber sketcher and stay-at-home dad, Paul Heaston. We're going to be talking about Paul's philosophy about art and how he juggles his family commitments with making art. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Brenda.
Paul, you studied oil painting at the University of Texas in San Antonio. Can you tell us a little bit about your work as an oil painter?
Well, it took me a while to kind of find my feet, and I realized that I wanted to be a painter, at least while I was in school. And so I was painting mostly sort of figurative and portrait type paintings, my friends and family. Ultimately, when I went on to grad school, they became these really enormous sort of life-size figurative oil paintings. Take up a lot of room in the studio. You need a big studio to do that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I was doing before urban sketching.
So why did you make the switch from oil painting to urban sketching?
Well, so when I was in graduate school at the University of Montana, still studying painting,
Right.
I took a semester abroad to Italy, and we were in Perugia, but we were traveling around for most of that. And I didn't think that my studio practice would be very portable, especially at the scale that I was working. And also at the time, it was tricky to fly with oil paints and solvents and things like that. You had to be real careful. And I
Right.
didn't want to buy everything over there and then, leave it behind when I came back. So I bought a moleskin, which was the popular thing at the time. In fact, one of my the faculty advisors, Sarah Mass, was like, "You should get a moleskin and do a visual journal."
Yep.
And I thought I would write just as much as I was going to sketch, but I ended up just almost completely sketching everywhere we went. The undergrad students that were accompanying us on the trip, I was sketching them. I would sketch the buildings. I would sketch the museums. And something I didn't think I was ever that interested in before became really kind of compelling
Cool.
and a lot of fun.
That sounds like an amazing trip.
It was a really amazing trip. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, and I feel like besides sketching, I just kind of learned a bunch of things about art that I wasn't thinking about before. So
It's a completely different medium, and you just
yeah,
have to think in a different way.
yeah, and everything's real immediate. There's this long process with an oil painting, and it's days or weeks or months of work,
Right.
especially for a big one. And
Yeah.
with a sketch, you're on site for an hour tops, and it's that sort of instant gratification, that contact high, and then you're moving on. You're doing something else.
Cool. Paul, I'd like to hear your opinion about art making as a discipline. We talked earlier about Malcolm Gladwell and
Mhm.
his assertion in his book Outliers. He said that you need to put in 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to become world class in any discipline. So what's your opinion about that?
I believe that's true. I mean, I'm not somebody who thinks you have to have this sort of innate talent. I think art making is a skill set that can be developed and honed over time.
Mhm.
But if you have to have the right tools, and you have to supply the right motivation, I think. And but a lot of people who would tell you they can't draw, or they can only draw stick figures. I find that if you supply them with the right information about what to be thinking about when you make art, you give them those tools, and then they put in the hours, and that's where that 10,000 hour rule comes in.
Yeah.
Then you can get there. Obviously, some people aren't going to be as motivated, and that's where that nurture versus nature thing does kind of come in.
Right.
Some people's interests lie somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you can supply that motivation internally,
Yeah.
and then you put in the work, and I know you were going to ask me about this, but I think it's a good time to mention that Chuck Close question about,
Yeah.
or Chuck Close quote.
Yeah.
He's a famous portrait painter, and he said, I think I'm paraphrasing, but inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just get to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's really true. You can't kind of sit around and wait for the moment to strike, to feel that sort of moment of sublime inspiration. You really have to make work, and make a lot of work, and then things will start to happen. Good things, usually.
Right. Yeah, and you said earlier there was the two Chucks. I thought it was so funny. You
Yeah.
two guys named Chuck. And the other fellow is Chuck Jones, who said
Right.
every artist has thousands of bad drawings in them. And the only way to get rid of them is to draw them out. And you love
Yeah,
that.
I love that. That's so true. I mean, it sounds discouraging at first because I think if you at face value you think, oh, I've got to do 1,000 bad drawings before I get to a good one, but it's not usually the case. It's usually you'll do 3 or 4, and then you kind of hit a little micro breakthrough or something like that, and then you'll get something good. And then after a while, the frequency of good ones starts to outnumber the frequency of those bad ones.
Yeah.
But even the best artists are going to have bad days, and you get be discouraged by that. You just have to know that the more drawings I make, or the more paintings, or the more sketches, the better things are going to get as it go along.
Right.
So, but can't think about something really hard and read everything about it, and then suddenly make a good drawing. You have to get rid of those bad ones first. You have to make them to get rid of them.
Just kind of get them out of your system.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul, you're a stay-at-home dad, and you have 2 sweet little girls, age 3 and 8 months. Can you talk a little bit about how you fit sketching into your everyday life?
Definitely, it's I can't quite sketch the way I used to with the kind of abandon. I can go and spend half a day out wandering around, but with 2 small kids at home, and they're not in preschool yet, you
Right.
kind of have to roll with the punches, and you're subject to their schedule and their needs. So of course I always prioritize what they want, what they need. But whenever I do have those little moments of downtime, the afternoon nap, or in the evening after everyone's gone to sleep, or even if they're both kind of chilling quietly in the living room, I might take a moment, if I have all my other chores done, to sketch. And I frequently sketch them a lot when they're sleeping too.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I'm running an errand or something in the car, they'll fall asleep in the back seat. And if the weather's nice, I might pull over and sketch from the car. It's a good technique to have anyway, especially at wintertime if you're in one of those climates where it's cold half the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's car sketching is sort of an invaluable thing you can do with kids, small kids especially.
So you talk about the kind of sketching that you do now. You do a lot of sketching.
Yeah, domestic.
What does that mean?
Well, it's sort of what I spend the most time around is this sort of my home and these tasks that I do at home. I'm on the laundry room, or I'm downstairs cleaning up, or I see a lot of my home more so than going out like I used to. So I do a lot of these sort of domestic sketches. I think I've got a couple I can show you here. Just these sort of scenes that are these. Yeah, let's see if I can get.
Wow, beautiful. And
This
so
is yeah.
like all the stuff that's in the room is there.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
it's funny, I'm kind of I'm a very detailed kind of sketcher, and I love a lot of visual information, a lot of clutter. So it's also good that I have 2 small kids, because it's everything's in a constant state of disarray. But here's my bedroom, and there is the bassinet. This is a few months ago when my youngest was still in a bassinet. Now she's graduated to a crib, and my 3-year-old's in her big girl bed. So there's always a changing array of subject matter too, which is fun.
Yeah.
And then just being around the house with everybody, I sketch. Here's our living room. We have a little play tunnel for my oldest, and then this was my wife Linda, before our youngest came along. So I have a lot of those sort of maternity sketches.
That's
Also.
great. That's
And
wonderful.
it really also,
Nice,
it's Linda says it's better than having a bunch of photos and a bunch of snapshots,
Yeah.
because it's a much more I don't know, it's a great way to preserve those moments. And I think a lot of people tend to forget about the photos, but these are great memories.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Did you have any other sketches you wanted to show me?
Sure, I'll just show you some. I keep, I have about 3 or 4 sketchbooks running at a given time.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I don't always stay at home, but like we were saying earlier, I have these maternity style sketches. This is Linda. And the great thing about our relationship is that she is somebody who likes to sit still for long periods of time and do things too. She
Yeah.
crochets, she knits, she quilts, she sews. I always have a willing subject
Yeah.
who is relatively stationary, unlike my kids. And but the good thing about kids, especially the younger ones, is they do nap.
Yes.
Um, so go on a nice long walk, and this is Maggie, my youngest, and she frequently falls asleep anytime she's in the stroller or the car. So she's great for a quick sketch every now and then.
Yeah.
Junie, my 3-year-old, is a little more mobile,
Yeah.
but
She's wheeling around all over the place. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so she's got a lot more energy. But when I do get out, I like to maybe on the weekend, once or twice, I'll go out and head to, this is Union Station, which is a big downtown train station in Denver.
Yeah.
And it's got coffee shops and restaurants and shopping. And it's a fun place to kind of chill out. And any kind of local coffee shop I can find here in Denver. The nice thing about them is they're a place you can kind of sit still and decompress for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they let you sit there for a really long time, which, unlike a restaurant or someplace where they want to move you through.
Move you through. Yeah. Thank you so much for showing us those sketches. Now, just to summarize, the kind of sketching that you do is often in a sketchbook, pen and ink, black and white, and sometimes with a little white gel pen added, and you do a lot of cross hatching. And you're going to come back and make a little demo, I hear.
I'd love to, yeah. Talk
Good.
a little bit about pen and ink technique, about my hatching style, the way I approach hatching and cross hatching. And it's something I've kind of honed for the last dozen or so years. So it's something I really love to talk about and teach. So yeah, I'd love to do something with you guys and with Studio 56 and make a really cool demo so you guys can see what I do.
Cool, exciting. So at Studio 56, we're featuring a lot of merchandise with Paul's beautiful sketches on it, his Stapleton home sketch. Do you have that sketch? There it is. Wow,
There we
it's
go.
beautiful. Yes, and also his camper sketch. Do you have that one?
Yeah, here we go.
There we go, the camper sketch. And these are gorgeous sketches that Paul did. And I've got some show and tell. So on my side, I'm going to show you a sketch that he did. This is his Stapleton Homes on a pillowcase. Two-sided.
Yeah.
Really fun. And I also have the same sketch, Stapleton Homes, on a t-shirt. And his sketches are also featured on mugs, and prints are available. And what am I missing? Phone cases, accessory pouches, all that at Studio 56.
Cool things. Yeah, and there'll be more coming in the next few weeks and months. So
yes, that's right. So check back to www.studio56boutique.com to see the wonderful merchandise that's available with Paul Heaston sketches. Paul, thank you so much today. Paul, you're one of the most generous and humble artists I know, and I mean that sincerely. And thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I love talking. So I love talking with you guys.
Thank you so much, Paul. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.